Welcome back to Runner News Network. We're getting some coverage of the Indigenous Peoples Day celebration that was presented by the Indigenous Faculty and Staff Association, as well as the Native and Indigenous Student Coalition Club. The event started off hearing from Arianne Chow, one of the founding members of the student club, and she even showed us the Chumash welcome song, showing us a bit of Indigenous culture. The celebration also had an Indigenous crafts table, allowing students the opportunity to make little souvenirs so that they can take home, and also heard from two other guest speakers, Jean Albitri, an elder member of the Kumeyaay tribe, as well as Dr. Gonzalo Santos, a CSUB Sociology Professor, who spoke on the importance of remembering our roots here in this country.
And since then, in the last 30 years, since the 500th anniversary, we have over 20 states that officially commemorate and celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day in the United States. We have over 100 cities throughout the country, and we had President Biden sign the first presidential proclamation of Peoples Indigenous Day on October 12th of last year. So this is the second time. So you see, before we know it, we're going to have a national holiday that is going to be passed by Congress and enacted by the President, in which we finally recognize the roots, the indigenous roots of our peoples of the Americas here in the United States.
The runner also got to interview David Silva, president of the Native and Indigenous Student Coalition Club, on the importance of Indigenous Peoples Day and steering away from Christopher Columbus Day.
So the reasoning behind that is, I would call it a reclaim. So the reason being is that a lot of people are used to the type of European history, because if you think about it, Columbus is not an American, he's a European. So he came here with the hopes of finding a different country than he intended. And with that led a history of genocide. So when we reclaim that name, the Columbus Day, and we use Indigenous Peoples Day, it gives a sense of empowerment back to the people, because that's the least I could do for all the generation of trauma that has been incurred onto us. And so I think it's important for people to start using Indigenous Peoples Day, because just the same as you reclaim against that history, you're reclaiming that word against, kind of appraising him for something that he didn't really even do intentionally.
The event did more than teach about Indigenous culture and people and the importance of reclaiming power, but also showed the beauty of Indigenous culture, with native drumline performing live as well as live jingle dancing. Students that attended also seemed to enjoy the event.
I thought this was an amazing event, and something I appreciate so much about CSUB is that we just embrace all different cultures, and we celebrate it as well. And so I had a great time. It was a great show up, great performances, and yeah, great event overall.
The Indigenous Peoples Day celebration gave an opportunity for many Indigenous students and faculty to share their voice, as well as show the Roadrunner family a bit of their culture. Reporting from Runner News Network, I'm Ernesto Leon.